You have strange dreams tonight. A familiar voice beckons you to your window. There are stairs leading into the night sky. You awaken just as you begin to ascend them. Say, wait a second, haven't I been here before? Yes. Yes, we have, because you have an urge to look outside. Your window, that is. And welcome back to Let's Play Look Outside. Quite a bit has changed since I've last played this game, and I think now it is due time to not look outside, but instead appreciate the new features that are present in Look Outside. Because quite a bit has changed, like I said, and there is so much to go over, so little time. Now, this video is probably going to be a little disjointed compared to previous entries, because I spent some time mulling over what the best way to approach the new content in updates as they roll out for this game. Hang on, wait, don't do it. Don't look outside. It's bad. That's fine, that's fine. But we can take a look at one thing right over here. You don't need to check on the plant right now. Okay, fine. So, let me talk to Sybil real quick. And now, let me examine my plant here. I've been taking care of this plant for a while, though you haven't watered it enough lately. What will you do? We're going to examine it to get our first bit of new content. The soil looks dry. Riveting stuff. Actually, it is pretty worth our while to actually pay attention to the plant this time around, because when I was doing the Let's Play, in the version that I was playing on, the plant was unfortunately bugged and would always die regardless of how well or how little you took care of it. But that has been corrected in this version, and you get a more clear indicator when you should probably water it. Whenever it says the water is dry, you just water the plant, and as long as the soil is a little damp, your plant will be fine. That is the first bit of new content, and that should be it for this video, honestly. I can't think of it. Okay, let's not even go with that bit right there. But there will be quite a bit more to go over as I get through the game, and like I said, this video is probably going to be a little disjointed in comparison to previous parts, because the way I ultimately decided to approach this is I'm just going to do a fresh playthrough, and I'm going to cut to new things as I come across them, and I'll likely be keeping a handy-dandy notepad over here so I can keep better track of the times where I'm covering more substantial changes or additions to the game. So, without further ado, let me get into some of the miscellaneous new stuff, and then maybe, just maybe, we can get into this first substantial piece of new content within the game. So, here's a little fun detail that's not exactly exciting, but when the observers and onlookers actually look at you, they will have a little animation for it now. Cute little detail, I thought. On to other new bits of content, crafting. Crafting has been retooled slightly as of the 1.5 update. Some of the recipes have been switched around, and there is a new option to combine from a recipe. If you happen to know what creates a certain item and you have the ingredients for it, you can instead use the recipe menu to craft it. Obviously, starting out, we don't know any of the recipes in the game, but there are some returning familiar ones, like if we combine whiskey and cloth, we can get a Molotov. However, originally we were able to combine, I believe it was I think it was Metacells with cloths. We could combine those to create Molotovs. That is not an option anymore. We cannot make Molotovs via combining those two items anymore. So we're actually short a Molotov, which becomes a little bit unfortunate in just a bit. Speaking of stuff that, well, okay, stuff that's not necessarily new, but I forgot to show off last time. When facing down the Gawker, there's actually a little bit of text that I missed, because I just ran away before the fight even had a chance to get to that. As you can see, the Gawker also can gaze deeply at us in order to eliminate our ability to use skills. But if we guard for 2 turns and let him get as close as possible, you're unlikely to succeed at running away during the first 2 turns of combat. On turn 3 and onward, your chance to escape increases. So yes, if you fail to run away from this guy on the first 2 opportunities, you have a pretty good chance of doing so this time around. Also, he's blocking off those bandages, but they're not really worth my time to go out of my way for. By the way, I did get that Metacell, so now I can craft it with cloth to create 3x bandages. Not a bad amount of bandages, honestly, though there are more effective recipes we can employ in order to create a greater number of bandages. moving on from that, I actually do want to show the Grinning Beast encounter once again, as I actually have a couple things to say about it now, and there is actually a slight modification to it, as well as what happens after. So, as per usual, we're gonna let Lei bust down the door, and then as soon as she starts tailing us, we're gonna let her just catch us. Yeah, that's beautiful. A lot of the bosses in the game have gotten new visual effects added to them, as well as new music, and the Grinning Beast is one of them. This fight is also a lot more precarious without the Molotovs anymore, but with the cleaver that we get from Jean's apartment, we can easily inflict heavy bleeding on the Grinning Beast. And then we can use our one Molotov to toss it at her and inflict burn on her. And with that stacked DOT, we should be dealing some pretty good damage to the Grinning Beast there. Now, when it starts to grin heavily, that means, if I wanted to be as safe as possible, I should probably guard. But let's go for the risky strat and throw the dinner plate at her, which stuns her and interrupts her multi-strike attack. That gives me an opportunity to go for another deep cut here, which deals more damage and inflicts even greater bleeding, and that should allow me to defeat her pretty easily. I got pretty lucky with the stun persisting 2 turns there. This fight is a lot more precarious without the 2 Molotovs, because that was a good amount of damage that you could inflict, in addition to the DOT that it does. But beyond the Grinning Beast fight itself, there was something else I wanted to comment on with Lei. This was something that was actually changed while I was in the middle of making the LP, I believe from version 1.3 to 1.4. If you remember, when I talked to Lei originally, she gave us the opportunity to trade with her. However, she goes straight into asking to join us now. You cannot trade with Lei anymore. I believe this is an extension of just the trade function being removed from every party member in the apartment. Lei's initial store has also been removed. Yeah, let's hang out. So, we cannot get that extra amount of handgun ammunition, nor that extra good equipment. I did get a bit of good luck with a door encounter while I was doing some cooking. The gun seller came by, and while I didn't have enough money to buy any of his really good stuff, obviously, since we just started the game, he was selling some acid flasks and some shurikens, so I decided to buy some of those, because those could come in handy in the very near future. With that addressed, let's continue on to the next point of interest. Going into Lyle's apartment, I got a bunch of declogger. Now, if you remember, declogger and pyrocare was originally the recipe to make acid flasks, and this was a very good combo for getting a very good combat item that would help out a lot in fights. This recipe has been removed. You cannot make acid flasks with this combo anymore. I don't even think these items can be combined, period. There is still an acid flask recipe involving the declogger, but we won't be able to do it for quite some time, so that is a pretty significant blow to our early game damage output, and it's gonna force me to really scrounge up some supplies for some of the boss encounters that I plan to get into throughout this recording. Alright, here we are on the first floor again, and this is where we're going to actually be able to get into some substantial new content that was added in the 1.5 update. One thing I would like to comment on, since it's not super interesting, but it is something that'll be kind of relevant early on, is that the calculation for your danger value was corrected during the update. It's also just grabbing this simple key real quick. Originally, your danger value, if you remember and were watching during the main LP, it went up pretty quickly. This was a mistake. It was not supposed to go up nearly as quickly as it did in the videos that I've posted thus far. It was fixed starting with 1.5, and now you get considerably less danger going into new areas, meaning that you actually do have to put a little bit more effort into getting or qualifying for a save game. And it also means you're generally getting less experience just from exploring. Not that that's too big a deal. Now, I'm looking for something specific here, and as per usual, I'm kind of bumbling and fumbling through the first floor. Luckily, if we follow our path along the exit signs, we will eventually find what I'm looking for here. Now, right here, before I go down that way, you probably noticed the arrows. There's something that can occasionally be here. Now, if it's not there, something that you can do is just go into a random room. This, of course, is the Rat Baby's room, which I'm not doing anything with just this second. Hey! I wasn't there before. Oh, I could go for a drink. A vending machine. It sells soda at $1 a can. It only takes coins, though. Well, let's see, what do we got here? Got a couple dollar coins, so we may as well get a drink while we're here. And, advice? Well, I could always use some advice. Let's go for it. You wait for nearly a minute. Then, with the laborious grinding whir of old machinery, it finally dispenses a can. An empty can falls into the tray. Black text is printed on the aluminum. Hello, I'm Audrey. Please be careful. There's a big monster nearby. It's very dangerous. Well, that's pretty good advice. Thank you, Audrey. Well, I got another coin here. Why don't we pop it in and just get another piece of advice? Another empty can falls into the tray. It has more text printed onto it. No problem. I'm happy to help. There's a drawing of a smiley face. On the back of the can, in smaller text, ask a question after you insert coins. I'll answer as best I can. Well, unfortunately, we're out of loonies at the moment, and I actually do want to save my quarters for something in particular, so we're gonna hold off on giving any more coins to Audrey. I mean, I suppose I could literally nickel and dime my way to another advice can, but I'd rather not spend that much time putting coins in, so we'll wait until we have more $1 coins and then come back to it. Conveniently, though, she's located by the other major point of interest on the first floor that, again, was added in the 1.5 update. I deliberated showing this off as soon as it got added to the game, but I decided to wait until a little bit more of substance was added to the game, and there is quite a bit of new stuff to show off, in particular the new boss animations which were introduced in 1.6 that I'm super eager to show off, as well as the new audio soundtracks. And of course we're smelly, because we've just been traveling around a bit. Okay, now, hey, swanky place here. Look! There's this little guy called Colonel Squeakums. Colonel Squeakums? Hey, wait a second! You're Ernest! Who the heck are you? This is my home. You lost? Well, come on in, I guess. I'm old Ernest, and this handsome daredevil here is Colonel Squeakums. Say hello, Colonel. Squeak! That's our Colonel. Says he likes the cut of your jib. A solid jib cut, he says. But I say your jib could use more cutting if you're getting lost in the labyrinth. Old Ernest knows it like the back of his hand. Maybe you need some help. How long it been? Feels like I've been here for years now. Like it's starting to get a little brain pan. Squeak, squeak! What will you do? Well, you know what? I could use some help, but it's getting pretty late, so why don't we just settle for a quick bit of chatting? What do you want to talk about? Tell me your story, Ernest. My story? Oh, I don't know. I've been all over. Done and seen it all. You want the long or short version? Well, I could use more content to pad out the video, so why not the long version? Well, I don't remember the long version. I traveled around as a roadie for a bunch of bands before meeting up with the Colonel and settling down here. Been hard living for a while. Times are tough. Maybe I should have picked a better place than a labyrinth to plant my roots in. Oh, and the government's shooting radio waves into my brain. Did you know birds are spy drones? What will you do? Well, let's keep on chatting. How long have you been here? I don't know. Can't remember. Feels like forever. Years? What will you do? Sorry, I just, reflexively read that. Are you trapped here? Trapped? Trapped like a rat. Good one, right, Colonel? Squeak. Colonel's heard that one before. Old Ernest knows this labyrinth like the back of his hand. I just don't want to go back out there. And let's get some more of his opinions. I don't understand the maze. Then look for landmarks. That weird pulsing umbilical cord goes to the wall creature, and there's exit signs everywhere. Just don't open the third door from the right. Oh, well, I'm way ahead of you on that one, Ernest. You're so behind. What's with the rat? Squeak! My pal Colonel Squeakums. We met a couple months ago, and it's been a partnership ever since. Better not piss him off. He got a mean bite. Okay, well, like I said, we could ask Ernest for help, but it is getting pretty late, so why don't we come back to that? But if you have a piece of food, like, say, a chicken sandwich that I just so happened to cook earlier, and you give it to Ernest, he will join you, provided you have either no or just one party member recruited. Any more than that, then he will not join you. Though unlike Papano, he doesn't just disappear entirely, he just refuses your company. So, we'll have to keep that in mind before we add Joelle back to the party, which I do plan to do, because we're going to need every bit of help we can get. So, before this evening closes out, I'm going to do a little bit more exploring, then rest for the evening, then why don't we come back and recruit Ernest? Alright, let me take care of that. Before we return to Ernest, I've got a little bit of crafting to do. I can mix a whiskey and a pyrocare to get a tonic. Well, now that is some effective medicine right there. Let's see, we've also got some more metacells here. Anything else I can make with that? Does not look like it. The declogger doesn't combine with anything I currently have. These tonics also combine with nothing, so nothing going there. Let's make our way back to Ernest now. Alright, here we are back to Ernest's room. So, why don't we just give him a quick sandwich? Well, look who the cat dragged in. Squeak, squeak. What will you do? Can you help me? Need some help getting around the maze, eh? I was like you once. The Colonel and I can help you find your footing. Plenty of scary beasties out there. How's about until midnight? Gotta get my beauty rest. Well, I'll help you out for a sandwich. Well, as it so happens, I have chicken or ham. Take your pick, but I'm picking for you. You get ham. Ernest gives half of the sandwich to his tiny rat friend and eats his portion in one bite. Whew, that sandwich tastes like a mummy's ass. Hey, I made that. But I'm hungry as hell. Let's get going. And thus, Ernest has joined our party. Only temporarily, though. If you recruit Ernest this way, he will stay with you until midnight. Or if it's late night, so just before midnight, and you return to your apartment, he will return to his home. But if you return to your apartment before it's late night, he will stick around and continue to travel with you. Now, like I said earlier, Ernest will not join you if you have more than one party member. However, he has no problem sticking around with you if you happen to recruit somebody over that typical limit. Now, Ernest's original recruitment method is no longer a thing in this game, where you had to wait for him to show up at your apartment 3 times and give him food the first 2 times. That's not a thing anymore. This is the first leg of the Ernest recruitment quest, and it's not a step you even need to really do, I don't think, anyway. But this is just a way we can get a taste of his abilities later, and we have a means to permanently recruit him that will be coming up not just yet, but in a bit. For right now, let's go over some of his abilities. He can give the good Colonel some cheese, which I think this is a new thing, because I don't know what this does, and it was not in the previous update. He also has the feedback ability. This is a attacking skill that goes up in damage as he gains levels, so something that will just get gradually stronger and stronger, and it's a relatively cheap move. Ernest also picks up a variety of party buffs as he levels. He is the premier bard of the group, I suppose you could say. Just picks up a ton of musical abilities that buffs us up. Now, like I said, we can recruit characters over Ernest's typical allowance as long as he's with us. So we may as well take advantage of the fact that he's going to be with us temporarily and use it as an easy opportunity to recruit Joelle. So let me go take care of that real quick. By the way, I didn't get a chance to show that off. Colonel Squeakums will do assist attacks at the end of Ernest's turn. Not every single turn. I believe it's every other turn that Colonel Squeakums will come in with an attack. A nice little bit of extra damage to help you out, and something that adds just a little bit more utility to having Ernest around. Now, on to the Joelle encounter. A new sprite has been added for Joelle when you throw Teddy at him, so let's just toss Teddy his way and have everybody else guard. Or rather, Fuzzy. Throw the Teddy Fuzzy Joelle's way, and he gets this little animation where he picks him up. Well, not really an animation, but he has a sprite where he's holding Fuzzy now. And here we can hug him. Now, something I actually didn't know about, but I have seen in other videos, is that if Sam has sufficiently low health here, less than about 10 HP, it is actually possible for this hug with Joelle to kill you, and you get a unique game over if that happens. It's a little too tedious for me to feel like setting up, but if you're interested in checking that out on your own time, it is obviously something that's there for you, and of course there are other videos out there showing it off. I'll probably link one of those in the LP thread that I have going for this game. Regardless, I just wanted to show that off. Let me get the rest of my business in Joelle's apartment taken care of, and then we can get on to the real thing that I wanted to have Ernest around for. Alright, here we have our full party in tow, and this is something that I actually really want, because we're about to get into the reworked Rat King fight. Now, he's not too terribly different from how he was originally, however... It's the Rat King! We gotta get out of here! Squeak, squeak! Oh, come on, guys, don't be so cowardly. You feel a strange urge to... obey? Well, we better start off by getting as many status effects onto him as possible. Throw the acid flask at him. Let's see here. Actually, what I want Lei to do is I want her to turn into the grinning beast. Something I don't often do, but it would be a good idea to do it for this fight. Let's see. We will toss out some shuriken here, and ditto for Joelle. We want to tack on as much damage to this guy before he gets close, because there is a new wrench introduced into this fight in the most current update of the game. And it's going to come into play as soon as this guy approaches. Oh darn, he didn't actually get the acid effect there. Kneel. We are given the option to kneel or to rebel. If you want the positive outcome to this fight, you must kneel. And the problem with that, the Rat King spews royal ichor on those who kneel. We're burning with acid, everybody is getting charmed, and oh no, that's a disaster and a half. Luckily, Ernest and Joelle have managed to tank that effect. Worthy! Now, what would happen if we were unworthy? Also, thanks for the assist there, Colonel Squeakums. So, Lei is Berserk on this turn anyway, so that's not that big a deal. What we want, Ernest to do is I've given him the hunting shotgun, so we're just going to have him fire off point-blank shots. We're also going to have Joelle toss one of these turpentines onto the Rat King. The turpentine is not effective against him, because obviously he's not a paint-based creature, but it can still acidify him, which it did, which will make our point-blank shots that much more effective. His own hit against us has actually eliminated the charm status on Sam, so that helps out quite a bit. Unfortunately, I was hoping that the Berserk status on Lei there would actually prevent her from attacking the party, or at the very least overwrite the charm status. It did not, and we don't actually have any way to deal with the charm status. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to have Sam take an aim shot here. Unfortunately, Joelle got taken out there, but that's fine. We're going to have Ernest use a tonic on Sam there to try and get some health back. The beast is no longer charmed. Luckily, Lei attacked herself there. Who is marked? That is actually Lei. Alright, so the marked character is going to get hit with a ton of damage from the Rat King the following turn. As you can see, he has a unique sprite for when he's about to rear up and attack, so what we want to do is just keep hitting him with the aim shots. We're going to have Lei guard. Unfortunately, because the charm managed to get through on her, she's not really going to be able to attack too much, but whatever. If she can draw the aggro while we wail on this guy, we got him no problem. We get the giant rat skull. Sam is now level 6. Ernest is now level 5 and learned Rousing Song. And with his dying breath, the Rat King bestows you his crown. You receive the Rusty Crown. So, if you did not kneel before the Rat King and take that opening salvo of ichor, the Rusty Crown actually disintegrates into dust, and it is permanently lost. You will never be able to get it back if it disintegrates into dust, and anything tied to it will be lost to you. So, we actually are in a bit of an interesting situation. We have the Rusty Crown a bit early, and if you remember, there are some rats in the Rat Baby's domain that I had killed off and was not able to talk to. But now we are the Rat King, so I can visit them and actually get their thoughts and stuff. So why don't we make our way over there? Inside the Rat Baby's room again, let's see what these rats have to say this time. My king, I beg of thee, please, just a nibble of cheese. Well, we do actually have some cheese wedges, but I'm not giving them to this guy. What about you over here? The king is dead. Long live the king! This guy seems to live off of contradictions. One of these days, a new king will rule. Hey, you're looking at him, pal. You're the same one, right? Yeah, you just want a nibble of cheese. Just a little nibble. Don't worry, we will get the Rat Baby in due time, but since I missed the opportunity to speak to these rats the first time we went here, may as well talk to them. My liege! Not the most inspired commentary, but hey, there's a handful more rats in here, so we'll just talk to them, and then we'll move on to our next order of business. Pretty tall for a rat, huh? 5 inches. Pushing on 6. Ah, bro. Stud over there. You might notice my shiny coat and immaculately trimmed whiskers. I'm quite particular about them. I was thinking, that is one stylish large rat. And finally, this guy over here I'm sure has stories to tell. I was doing my master's degree in economics before this. I was studying to be a data scientist. My thesis was on the effects of gentrification on the local restaurant industry. I've a bit nervous about the deadline. I'm way behind on my schedule. I haven't been able to work at all since becoming a rat's ass. I kind of feel bad that I killed that guy now. He has a good sense of humor. Anyway. Ernest has a comment upon getting the rat baby. Oh, little guy ain't so bad. Not the most inspired thing, but again. Anyway, rat baby acquired. And lose my arm in the process. Now, I'm going to be sacrificing my left arm that allows me to use ranged weapons this playthrough. It is a bad idea to sacrifice your melee weapon arm as of this update. The enemies are a lot more durable, and there simply isn't enough one-handed gun ammunition to fight them all with Sam having only an arm that can use one-handed guns. So I'm going to sacrifice my left arm this time. Now, something that was pointed out to me is that there is actually a little Easter egg, an Evil Dead reference. If you name Sam Ash and you sacrifice your arm, if you sacrifice your right arm, you'll still be able to use the chainsaw, and if you sacrifice, no, I got that backwards. If you sacrifice your left arm, you'll still be able to use the chainsaw melee weapon. And likewise, if you sacrifice your right arm, you'll still be able to use the shotgun as if it was a one-handed gun. Just a cute little Easter egg you can do there. Anyways, Rat Baby acquired for real. Now I will just continue to get the other stuff that I need and move on to the next point of interest. Heading into the room where we get the odd necklace, Ernest has another comment about this. As you'd expect from the floor you recruit him on, he has quite a bit to say about the various happenings around this place. Nah, I ain't touching it. No siree. Looks haunted. With ghosts. Well, we're taking it anyway. You find an odd necklace. Just remember, old Ernest tried to warn you. Oh, come on. It's just another $30 for me, Ernest. See, look, those eyes. Nothing to it. Also, because we defeated the Rat King this early, I don't even have to worry about juking the rat freak over here. Let's just talk to him and get our rat claws. Probably something that'll be nice to put on Lay. And get our Mars disc here. Alright, on to the next point of interest. Moving on to the ground floor, there's a couple things that I want to show off here, but I don't want to go too deep into the ground floor just yet. Now, note that as soon as we reach the ground floor, something is going to change with Ernest and his room, so keep that in mind. But, hey, this wasn't here before. A candy machine. Weird candy you've never heard of is inside. It only takes quarters. This is why I didn't want to use any of my quarters earlier. This candy machine right here will dispense hard candy, but occasionally it can dispense stuff like the rare Hellfire candy. And there are a variety of rare candies in here that have a pretty interesting and powerful effect. Of course, often you'll get regular hard candy, but occasionally you'll get rare licorice candy. What do these special flavored candies do for you? Well, let's go take a look at those real quick. If you look at them, the Hellfire candy, very rare candy, heals at least 80 HP and 40 stamina, permanently boosts HP and stamina by 20. The rare Licorice candy heals 40 HP and 20 stamina, and permanently boosts your stamina by 10. Now, I actually want to save that Hellfire candy, but I'm going to use the rare Licorice candy on Sam immediately, giving him a significant stamina boost. There are quite a few permanent stat boosting candies within this little machine here, and hopefully I'll be able to get most of them. Some of them are quite helpful to a specific party member we're going to be getting later. Let's see, over here is the laundry room, which I am just going to ignore for right now. What I do want to check out real quick is let's go into here and check out the restroom. As always, Nestor is in his usual spot. There's that guy coughing there. There's our small key. Now, what if I were to knock on the occupied stall? If you remember, all it ever said in the previous updates is, it's occupied. However, if you prove to be persistent, occupado. Hey, what's your problem? Yeah, I'm watching stuff on my phone. Taking a long time. So what? The other stalls are free. What, do you want to talk or something? Do you need help? I'm Marshall. What's up? The man in the stall is identified. This is Marshall. Now, he will intersect with a quest line that previously was unfulfilled, or rather incomplete, as of previous patches. For right now, though, do you have any wisdom for me, Toilet Man? Sure, don't stick your arm in mysterious holes. A little too late for that one, I'm afraid. You got anything else for me? There's monsters everywhere, bro. Yeah, I know. Feel safe in here. It's like a little home away from home. What are you even doing in there? I'm mowing the lawn. What do you think? Did you look outside? No? Seems like a pretty bad idea. It is. Trust me, you do not want to do that. Now, we could have the bus break into the apartment right now, but I don't want to do that just yet. I want to wait until I have at least a couple more dollar coins before I move on to the lobby. So let me go waste some time in other places. Now, something that was happening while I was wasting time, my cooking skill has increased. This is a new mechanic. We have reached the pan wielder level. As you cook meals, your proficiency at cooking them will go up. As your proficiency goes up, the flat amount of HP and stamina that they restore will increase, and this gets pretty considerable over how much that these meals healed you in the original versions of the game. Additionally, you have a better chance of creating leftovers. Here's a conversation we've already seen. So, cooking repeatedly will allow you to do so much more with your meals, get so much more out of them, and it's by far one of the best ways to top off your stamina. Let me check out my crafting materials here and see if there's any new recipes I can make. Vinegar and Cleanerex has gotten me herbicide, which will allow me to stock up on a pretty good amount of it much earlier than we would be able to originally. So, let me just get 2 of those made. And that was all I had to create. Now, as you can see, Ernest is no longer around. If you bring him home before midnight, but not quite at late night, he just automatically leaves once the time rolls over. But that's no problem for me. Invisible man, eh? Now, the reason I want to waste some time is because I can get some more coins once the observatory or the astronomer's apartment opens up. You lost your arm? You okay? I don't understand. What do you mean you save the rat? This thing? We've already seen this one, but it's a good one. It's a good one. Disk with image of plants. Okay, Sybil, you're just repeating yourself now. With a couple more... Hey. Well, anyway, from the astronomer's apartment, we got a couple more loonies in tow, so why don't we get some more advice cans from the vending machine here? Let's go with just one more dollar coin, and let's go for some advice. Why don't we ask something? Why don't we ask about her? What happened to you? I was taking a can from the vending machine. The window at the end of the hall wasn't covered, so I got exposed. There's a drawing of someone shrugging on the can. Oh, poor girl, poor girl. Well, let's learn a little bit more about her. Now, you just need to get a certain amount of advice cans from Audrey before the next thing that happens with her comes up. Can you? Well, you know what? No, just tell me about you. Sure. I was a 32-year-old woman with too many pets, a nicotine addiction, and a job delivering packages on a bicycle. Now I'm a box with teeth. There's a drawing of someone throwing their hands in defeat. I'm moving on up. Well, she has as close to a good attitude as possible about it. I'm gonna hang on to my quarters right now, and that should have been... Huh. Where'd she go? Well, that should have been enough to advance to the next stage of the quest with Audrey. After you deposit 4 coins into Audrey and get 4 advice cans, and ideally you go for just learning more about her, you'll find her having a bit of a snooze cruise here. Honk shoo, me, and such. She's having that good sleep there. She's even got the nose bubbles. Hi, Audrey. Oh, I think we might have embarrassed her. A vending machine. Sells soda at $1 a can. Only takes coins. Well, let's add some coins into the slot. Let's see here. We do have enough dimes and nickels to get a can that way, so why don't we put some more coins in there and get an advice can again? We'll just keep putting coins in. Dime, dime, dime. And then more dimes, and now we have to do nickels. Yeah, there's not really an effective way to do this. You can't just put in the number of coins you want to get a response, unless you happen to have dollar coins, which is why I waited until I had a couple more dollar coins to do this leg of the quest. Let's get an advice can here. Before you can ask anything, a can quickly spits out into the tray. The writing on the can is smeared and misprinted. I'm sorry, I hope it didn't freak you out. I dozed off and turned back into that thing. So glad you still want to talk after seeing that. Don't worry, you're fine. It continues on the back, even more smeared. I'd give you a discount if I knew how, but I don't know how. Please keep talking to me. There's nobody here but rats, and they don't have any change. We don't need a discount, Audrey. Continues along to the bottom, barely legible. I think I'm going to run out of advice cans, and I don't know how I'll communicate after those are all gone. I might be unable to. I'm really scared. Maybe you can restock. Hey, we can take a closer look at the machine here. You have a look around Audrey from the front. She looks like a perfectly normal vending machine, at a glance anyway. Well, best to start from the top, or I suppose in this case, the bottom, with the delivery box. From up close, you can see her huge fangs retracted into the edge of the delivery box, her mouth. A cold shiver runs up your spine as you remember sticking your hand in there to retrieve cans. Let's see here, what else could we take a look at? Let's take a look at these drink buttons. The buttons used to choose the drinks. A cluster of eyes look back at you. Hopefully it doesn't hurt when you order something. Well, nothing too inspiring there. What about on the front design? A striking red flow design with some bright blue bubbles. They almost seem to look back at you. She blinks and looks away, embarrassed. You've been staring right into her eyes. Whoops. Poor lady. Let's see here. What about on the top? Perhaps we can glean something from there. You feel around the top of the machine, hoping to find something. Nope, nothing. Well, what about, we didn't look at the coin slot. The coin slot seems to expand and contract regularly. Maybe this is where she breathes from. Are you sticking coins up her nose? There's a hole next to the coin slot. On closer inspection, it's a deeply recessed keyhole. It seems you need a special key to operate this. Well, we do have some keys, but I don't think we're going to have much luck with Fred's key on this one. So, nothing to be seen from the front. What about from the side? A vending machine, blah, blah, blah. Let's examine the machine from the side this time. You look around the Audrey from the left side. There's a brand label at eye level, and something was scratched into the metallic surface below it. Let's see, examine the brand. It says Shop-O-Matics in cursive font, a vending machine brand you've seen before. What about those scratches right there? Old faded scratch on the side of the vending machine. Who is the thing in the mask? Weird. Hey, Audrey. If I could get a good look at the back, that might be able to help. Can you scooch forward a bit? And fortunately, we've built up enough of a rapport with her that she is willing to oblige us that one. Let's see, it sells soda at $1 can. Only takes coins, though. Well, let's take a closer look at the back of the machine. You look around Audrey's back. There's an inscription there with handwritten notes. The inscription lists the last service date. It was 2 months ago. The technician was Mutt. Hey! Audrey, I think I might have an idea. Hold on a second. Looking forward to having a nice, relaxing walk through the lobby of the apartment building. I'm sure nothing bad could possibly happen here.
Get onto the bus!
No, we're not doing that again. Hey, Mutt, you might have something for me. Welcome to Mutt's Fish and Chips. I'm Mutt. Please take your time and look around. And please, feel free to ask about my special inventory. So, what do you want? Well, as it so happens, restocking a vending machine. A vending machine needs restockings? I'm a tad busy, as you can see. How's about I deputize you? You can restock them for me. And hey, a vending machine key. Well, that is convenient. Also convenient is that right over here, Mutt has the lockpick set. Very good thing to get this early in the game, so I'll definitely be taking that. Heck yeah, heck yeah. Let me also steal somebody's wallet over here, rob this first aid box, and we will reconvene back at Audrey. Alright, with the vending machine key in tow, and Audrey isn't quite as concerned about subtlety anymore now that the secret is out, let's take a closer look at that coin slot once again. If we just look at it, and with the option to insert something into the keyhole, we can now use our handy-dandy vending machine key to pop it open. The vending machine's doors open. Instead of machinery, the insides are filled with fleshy tubes and pulsating organs. Clusters of eyes open inside, visibly recoiling at the light. Long, worm-like protuberances squirm away. There are teeth everywhere. Tendrils extend from the depths of the machine and grasp at the door, slamming it shut. Audrey gets up, gives you a thankful nod, and scuttles away to finally restock. And, yeah, she is, going to restock. Now, I, do not have enough coins to buy anything from her when she comes back, so that is actually a bit of a problem, but let's just see what happens when she does come back, and we can go from there, because I do know a place where I can get at least $1 coin. And let's see here. Yeah, we need more coins. I don't have any coins. So I'm gonna have to wait until the landlord's apartment opens up, which is something that I do want to show off quite a bit for, but not just yet. I just want to get access to it so I can get access to more coins. So let me go kill some time until that opens up, and then we'll reconvene when we have a $1 coin to give to Audrey. May as well play some Super Jump Lad with Joelle while we need to kill some time. The UI for the video game shelf has been slightly readjusted. As you can see, if you haven't played a game before, it's going to be in blue text with new next to it. And if it's a game you are in the process of playing but haven't learned anything from, the text will be white. So we'll see that in just a second. Oh hey, we got a knock on the door. Is this anybody new, or is this somebody I'm going to have to tell to just go away? Oh hey, this guy, he looks okay. Let's see, haggard young man. Let's open up the door. Says he needs medical help. What's he looking for this time? Let's see, a bit of trouble. He tells a story about encountering a strange monster that bit him, weak and numb and getting worse. Well, as it just so happens, I did get some medication from Frederick's apartment, so why don't we give him that, and it should help him out. Meds will help, yes. These take care of just about anything, right? You might have saved my life. Here's $120. Incidentally, while I'm thinking of it, I did go around and clean up all the safes that are available in the apartment up to this point. So I've got $759. If you forget what safes are available, there's a safe in Lyle's apartment, one in Frederick's apartment, and of course the astronomer's safe. So pretty good selection of cash there. But yeah, as you can see, we've played a little bit of Super Jump Lad, so it's in white text now. And if we play it to completion, we get our jump attack, we hear a knock on the door, and I'll answer that in just a second. I just gotta show this off to be thorough. Oh, come on. Let me just take a look at it. Fine. Maybe it's somebody new. Let's see. Rope figure stands at the door, hunching from the weight of his backpack. Hello? Just let me in. No, this is Monster Morton. Get out of here. Yeah, just go away. We don't want to deal with you. Anyway, take a look at our game shelf here, and Super Jump Lad is in green text, letting us know that we've fully completed it and learned the skill from it. Just an easy way to tell what you have and haven't done if you've forgotten which skill goes to which game. Anyways, that should have passed enough time to make Mr. Henderson's apartment available to us, so I'm going to make my way over there and get a $1 coin real quick. As I'm going through the apartment, there's actually quite a lot to say about the Landlord Dungeon as of this new update, but I'm gonna wait till next time to show it off. But the first thing I can bring attention to is that, while we're here anyway, some of the art assets have been updated for it. As you can see, there's a lot more detail to the corpse pile in the initial room than there was previously, where they were just flat images on the surface and not much detail to them. A lot more visceral detail to these hand creatures, especially this pile right here. Corpse of one of those hand things. Did they attack while you were away? You didn't hear anything. Anyway, $1 coin acquired. Now I'm actually going to be ignoring the enemies here for right now. They will become important later though. And when you make enough rent payments, there's another new bit of dialogue here. Think the hallway is back. Can we take a break now? But we might need to come back for the basement key. And if Joelle is not there to say that, then Sam will have his own little thought, expressing much the same sentiment. Anyway, with the $1 coin acquired, we can just make our way past these guys. I don't really feel like dealing with them right now. Not that they're anything too difficult to me. But with the $1 coin acquired, which, remember, we can get from that crack in the wall, I also have Mr. Henderson's coin collection, which I didn't really go over this, but you can also use that valuable as an item in order to get a handful of coins, rather than sell it for the $64 that it's worth, if you're so inclined. And we may be inclined, depending on what I need to give to Audrey here, because I didn't fully memorize. Anyway, let's just talk to Audrey real quick. A vending machine sells soda at $1 a can. Only takes coins. Well, conveniently, we have yet one more, oh, whoops, that was the wrong thing. Let's stop examining and actually buy something. I've got yet one more loony to pay off, and then we can get yet another advice can. A can is released before you can ask anything. Thank you. I can restock whenever I want now. It's a huge relief. I filled my advice can stock with as many blanks as I could fit. It continues on the back. I brought you some energy drinks as thanks. I found those in the storage. They don't fit my trays anyway. And yes, we get some free energy drinks. But it's a good thing I got that coin collection, because there is still something else that we want to ask of Audrey at this point. If you crack open the coin collection, let's see here. How many coins did we get there? Let's add more coins, and hey, plenty of coins, plus a bunch that I can put into the candy machine. But let's put in the dollar coin, get our advice can. As Audrey's dialogue is hinting, if you had purchased too many cans from her up to this point, you would not be able to get any more cans from her. She has a stock of 8 advice cans, by the way, and if you buy up those 8 advice cans before you see the Sleeping Audrey event, then you cannot fully complete her quest. Now, why don't we ask her, you need a place to stay, Audrey? It takes a moment for Audrey to react. Yes, please. I hate being out here. I trust you. I'll do whatever I can to help out. I can't wield weapons, but I can do a mean running tackle. Audrey the vending machine has become a new roommate. Yes! There is a new party member as of version 1.5, and as of version 1.6, she's recently been upgraded. Audrey the Vending Machine. As she said, she can do a mean running tackle. The machine tackle gains damage based on her current HP, agility, and defense. So if you can boost those stats up for her, you can really ramp up the damage of a running tackle. Unfortunately, Audrey has a couple of drawbacks. For starters, she cannot use most equipment in the game. She does have some unique equipment pieces that we will be collecting throughout the game, but by and large, equipment is off the table for her. May as well give her this golden locket to increase her luck a bit, give her a higher chance of getting critical running tackles, but she is the one that I want to give this Hellfire Candy to. 20 extra HP on Audrey will be very helpful, but in addition to not being able to use very much equipment, Audrey also does not get fully healed by your healing items. I believe she only gets, it's somewhere between like 40 and 50% of the healing that she gets from healing items. Like, for instance, if I used a bandage on her, instead of 20% of her HP, it's only about 10%. So you need to invest a lot more healing items into her to keep her healthy, which is important because her running tackle, or her machine tackle, requires that she has good current HP to get the most damage out of it. Additionally, she is pretty difficult to restore stamina for. Fortunately, our cooked meals do not have reduced effectiveness on Audrey, so we can still keep her topped off with her stamina that way if we're making regular trips back to our apartment. With that all said and done, there are a couple of things that I'd like to take care of before finishing the video. I think 2 good notes to end things on, so let's take care of the first major thing. Incidentally, when Audrey is at your apartment, you can still use her as a standard vending machine if you so desire. The only item that's really worth buying from her is cola, though. The other ones don't really restore enough stamina to really be worth keeping in mind with your dollar coins. I've been making regular references to the astronomer's apartment this video, so I think it's time we actually go through and give this a proper once-over. Now, there are a couple other things that I actually do want to show off relevant to this apartment, but there's only one thing in particular that I want to take care of within this video, and then we'll move on to just one other thing. I've always got so much that I want to show off. There's been so much that's been added. I mean, look at this. We've got a killer Coke machine on our team now. That's pretty amazing, honestly. I'm a fan of the killer Coke machine. Anyways, let's get all our typical items here. We already know that the Observer is just following us along here, or the Stargazer, rather. We will take his crumpled notes and all the other stuff, and yeah, it's all the people that he has reformed. Before I forget, let me point this outside. Yeah, I hear you. You're a little agitated with me. Let's get the proper encounter going. Once again, he's going to follow us back out into the central room. And I may as well let him paint out his message before we get into the battle here. Hello, my friend. Well, I see that, you want me to press that switch. You know, I did vandalize and ransack your home, so who am I to reject you? Feel an urge to run away, but we're no coward. Yes, the Stargazer is yet another enemy that has had updated graphics, and the boss fight has been reworked to be a bit tougher. We're going to want to have Lei go into Grinning Beast. We're going to try and inflict as much bleed as possible on it. And let me see, I'll have Joelle just use throwing items on it. Let's have Audrey demonstrate her machine tackle here. Now, it's not anywhere near to its full potential, and how did you damage the cleaver when you didn't even hit him? Whatever. But yes, as you can see, we've got new graphics here. We are panicking, which is a little unfortunate. The machine tackle made it through and did pretty solid damage despite the resistance there. Lei is going to be berserk for a turn, but I'm not overly concerned about that. Let me see here. Yeah, Sam, unfortunately, not able to use his specials while panicking, so that's a little unfortunate. But we do have some anxiety meds, so why don't we just take care of that and give ourselves some immunity? Audrey will keep it up with the machine tackles here. As you can see, this guy is a lot more threatening now. He does way more damage than he did in older versions. Sam is taking some nasty bleed damage there, but Lei is back to her senses. As you can see, there's a slight bit of animation to him now. Let's get the deep cuts going. I'm gonna have Joelle just use a tonic on Sam because he took some nasty damage there. And we'll have Audrey keep it up with the machine tackles. Be mindful of Audrey's SP, because her basic attack doesn't really do... Oof, that telescope thrust is nasty there. But now Lei is contributing to the damage, and her claws can also inflict bleed, so that is pretty good for us. The Stargazer's eyes fill with stars. Alright, here's where we need to stop and actually guard for a bit. I'm going to have Lei keep up the offense. I'm going to have Joelle use another tonic on Sam there, and Audrey has more than enough defense and HP to survive what's about to come out here. Yeah, you try and take down Lei, but you're gonna find out, not very effective. She's gone beast mode. Oof, not as much damage as I'd hoped for. Man, that's impressive. Here comes the Astral Vision. This is the new attack that the Stargazer has gained access to. It deals pretty big damage to your entire party, and has a chance to confuse everybody. But it's not anything that we can't handle. Let's keep it up with the deep cuts here. Let's have Joelle gum up the work so that he's at least getting some HP back. And let's have Audrey, once again, just keep going with the machine tackles here. Remember, oh, that's unfortunate. Remember that every bit of damage that Audrey takes slightly reduces the amount of damage she's able to deal with the, oh no, that's unfortunate. And Lei has returned to normal, so we're in a pretty rough situation here, but I think we can still beat this guy, no problem. We'll just keep up the machine tackles here. We're going to miss out on quite a bit of experience, but we still have this under control, I think. Don't forget that Lei is also packing some heat here. I've given her the pistol, so she can make use of that. We're going to have another barrage of stargazing sent our way. Let's try and take it out before it has a chance to do that. The Stargazer is slain. As you can see, that guy is a lot more dangerous this time around. But I managed to hold out. Probably should have waited until I was a little bit higher level. That's going to burn into our first aid supplies a bit. But that was not the end of the world. We were able to manage. With that taken care of, let me see here. Yes, we do have the ability to save our game, so I'm going to do that, and with the Stargazer defeated, there's just one more thing I want to do before we finish this part off. You know, I feel kind of bad denying you guys a special game over scene with Joelle earlier, so what we're going to do here is show off a new one that has been added to version 1.5. I haven't really drawn attention to this. The version I'm playing on right now is 1.6. It just came out a couple days ago, and it motivated me to get off my rear end and actually start making new videos for this series to show off what's been added. But as of the version 1.5, the version prior to this, the Rafta and Nestor side quest has been considerably expanded and more or less completed as of this current version, so that's something that's pretty great to see. There's a variety of new interactions with the quest, and a variety of ways that it can now end. Also, these guys are pretty unfortunate for Audrey, because her machine tackle is not super effective against them. By the way, I haven't drawn attention to her other skill, and that's because it's pretty bad, especially right now. It can be slightly more useful later, but it's not particularly useful at this moment in time. So let me get into her skill menu and show that off real quick. Audrey's other skill right now is Keep the Change. It's a burst of coin that is based on her ballistic attack stat that hits all enemies. Now, it's basically 1-to-1 with her ballistic attack stat in terms of damage, so yeah, it'll only deal like 7 to 8 damage whenever it hits anything. Not very good. There is a way to bring its damage up, but it never becomes particularly powerful, so I'm not a huge fan of the skill, but it exists as an option. One thing to note is that when the enemies from the bus pour into this area, Nestor will actually go to hide in one of the bathroom stalls until you kill the one that has occupied the room. So let's just take care of this guy real quick. He's not particularly powerful, so we should be able to take him out with a combination of Blade and Fang. There we go. Touchy is down. Don't be so touchy. Hey, free fingernail bomb. And Audrey is level 6. Over here is Nestor, just hiding in the bathroom, trying not to soil himself. And he wanted to do some laundry. I haven't actually destroyed the, monster in the laundry room yet. We'll get to that later. You say this is from the thing in the pipe? I don't know what to think about that. Whatever is in there can't be human. Not anymore. Yeah, probably not. Yeah, I don't think I'll go back. Tell that thing you couldn't find me, alright? Well, okay, I guess I can tell her that. Let's get back to Rafta and just give her the bad news. Well, I hate to break her heart like this, but unfortunately, Nestor's just not that into you, Rafta. You back? Hello? Her voice seems raspier than before. Where's Nestor? Does he like my letter? I'm sorry, he's not coming. Oh, that hurts. Is it the pipe thing? Maybe I came on too strong in that letter. You're just not his type. It's okay, it's okay. Darn. Well, that happens sometimes. Well, plenty of fish in the sea, as they say. I was really looking forward to a date. Damn. What about you? Want to go out with me? You're not exactly my type, but you're pretty nice, I guess. I'm down if you are. Of course, why not? Okay, we might rescue today from being completely awful after all. I'll need your help to get out of here. Then we can start our date. I'm wriggling with excitement. Okay, well, let's look into the pipe. An enormous worm bursts out of the pipe. Oh, who could have seen this coming? It buries itself in your eye. As it wriggles deeper inside, you feel it dig through your brain like a worm in an apple. You feel whispers in your brain. Rafta's voice. She talks about seeing a movie, asking if there's anything good in theaters tonight. Your fingers, your arms, they extend into long, bright, red worms. Your neck also extends. Worms wrinkle out of your ears, your nose. But the strangest thing is, you're almost certain this began a moment before Rafta latched onto your eye, not after. It feels as though this was something you could always do, but only thought of doing now. Rafta didn't turn you into worms. She reminded you that you've always been worms. You just forgot. You feel her ask if you're okay as she coils her stringy body around what used to be your esophagus. She sounds worried. Silly you. You've always been a bunch of worms. The human form you had was just some weird convoluted thing you were trying out for a while. She asks if maybe you should have that date later, if you need to sit down. Do you need a glass of water? You uncoil your arms, undo your eyes, your skin unfurls into thin strips of weaved worms, your guts spill from your open chest cavity. More worms? Why did you bother with all of this? It feels so silly now. You feel Rafta's tiny voice in your head again. She sounds worried. She asks if you're having an allergic reaction. She's looking for an EpiPen in a handbag she doesn't have. Your heart comes undone. Your circulatory system wriggles out of your flesh, tassels of capillaries stretching out in every direction. This feels so much better. Rafta asks how many fingers she's holding up. She doesn't have fingers. Your brain is undone. And finally, your mind. All worms. Yes, a new game over sequence with Rafta, where you become her wormy other, I suppose. There is a handful of new game over sequences as of the new update, and I'll hopefully be able to show off a couple of them. I just wanted to go over that one, because I didn't go over Joelle's, and I wanted to give you something before closing out this video. But that's neither here nor there. Let's wrap this video up, and when we return next time, we're going to get into one of my favorite pieces of new content as we figure out what's going on with Ernest after he left our party. Believe me, it's gonna be a trip. Hope to see you then. Bye-bye.